So, good day everyone. I am teacher Anna. And before we're going to delve into our topic, let's define first what is controversy. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, controversy is a discussion marked especially by the expression of opposing views. We already know what is the definition of controversy, so let's proceed to our topic, which is the controversies in the Battle of Mactan. So now, let's find out what are the controversies in the Battle of Mactan. When did the Battle of Mactan happen? The Battle of Mactan fought on April 27, 1521 between Lapu-Lapu, the chieftain of Mactan Island, and the Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan. So the battle widely accepted that it was occurred on April 27, 1521 in Mactan Island, and now it is part of the Cebu, Philippines. Another controversy is where did the Battle of Mactan happen? So the battle between Ferdinand Magellan and chieftain Lapu-Lapu happened on Mactan, Camotes Island, according to the blog of Henry Libuon. The vlogger Turistang Pobre, during his visit to Camotes Islands in August 2017, an excavation was done and was able to discover artifacts of wars like swords, lances, spears, and bones of human and relics. So it is believed that these artifacts are used during the Battle of Mactan. As being interpreted by some historians, the Chronicle of Antonio Pigafetta stated that it takes 3 hours to travel from Cebu to the island. So these are the translations of Blair's and Robertson. Also, the Battle of Mactan happened in Mactan, Lapu-Lapu. As written in Antonio Pigafetta's Chronicle, we set out from Zubu, now Cebu, at midnight. We arrived at Matan, now Mactan, 3 hours before the daylight. Next controversy is who killed Magellan? Is it Lapu-Lapu? Many people believe that Lapu-Lapu killed Magellan, but there is no significant proof of this claim. A fact claims that in history, if a member of group attains something, it is the leader's recognition. That's why Lapu-Lapu was known as the killer of Magellan. So, Magellan was killed by Lapu-Lapu's men or the natives, according to the Pigafetta's Chronicle. As described by Pigafetta, one of them wounded him on the right leg with a large cutlass, which resembled a scimitar, only being larger, that caused the captain to fall face downward. When immediately they rushed upon him with iron and bamboo spears and with their cutlasses until they killed our mirror, our light, our comfort, and our true guide. At this moment, Pigafetta described how Magellan was being killed. Next is, can we consider Lapu-Lapu as a national hero? So according to Michael Ray, Lapu-Lapu is not technically a hero. Lapu-Lapu's fight was not for a country, but for himself and his terrority. Even though Lapu-Lapu has killed a distinguished navigator under Spain, there is no historical accounts that he was used by the Katipuneros as an inspiration to fight against the Spaniards. Though it is historically incorrect, Lapu-Lapu's myth is still significant in creating a sense of pride that native has a fighting chance to defeat a foreign invader. Next is the other controversies that happened in the Battle of Mactan. First we have is the world geography. There is always a movement on Earth's surface that causes the island to move, wherein it causes controversy on where the battle is exactly happened. Next is the existence of Philippines. So before the arrival of Magellan, the Philippines was not a country but was included in Malay archipelago, composed of different islands and districts. Philippines is not yet a country but a group of islands with different rulers and chieftains. Even by that time, there is a war between territories just like between Raha Humabon and Raha Lapu-Lapu. The last is the existence of Lapu-Lapu. According to Gemma Cruz Araneta, Fegafetta refers him as si Lapu-Lapu. He must have heard some natives saying si Lapu-Lapu. Other colonial writers used the name Kalipulaku, Kalipulak, or Lupa-Lupa. So, that's the controversies that happens or occurred in the Battle of Mactan. Now, let's move on to our next topic, which is the battle between Magellan and the natives. The battle took place in the early 16th century in the Mactan Island, Philippines. So the battle between Magellan and the natives occurred on April 27, 1521. So Magellan is a Portuguese explorer who arrived to expand the Spanish Empire, and he's one of the reasons why he came into the Philippines is the Moluccas Island. And Lapu-Lapu, the chief of the islanders who lead the resistance against Magellan. Magellan, as you know, was leading an expedition under the Spanish flag. They arrived in Mactan after befriending Ra Humabon, the ruler of Cebu. Humabon urged Magellan to help subdue Lapu-Lapu, a chieftain who refused to recognize Spanish sovereignty. Magellan decided to intervene to assert Spain's power and spread Christianity. Magellan and 49 of his men arrived at Mactan before daylight, but Lapu-Lapu's warrior, numbering around 1,500, had prepared for the battle. To avoid fighting in the darkness, Magellan waited until sunrise. What Magellan didn't know was that the warriors had led cunning traps, such as ditches dug along the beach. At sunrise, Magellan's men waded through shallow water, which slowed their advance. Lapu-Lapu's forces, meanwhile, launched a first attack armed with spears hardened by fire, bows, and even mud. The islanders overwhelmed the European. Despite firing muskets and crossbows, for half an hour, Magellan's men couldn't stop the advanced warriors. While the war is ongoing, some of Magellan's men ran away and only 10 to 15 warriors remain and continue to fight the battle. And wounded his right leg with a poisoned arrow. Despite his bravery, he fell on the battlefield. His death marked as a significant moment. Not only did it show the resilience of Lapu-Lapu's warriors, but it also disrupted Spain's plans for conquest in the region. The outcome of the battle. The islanders, under Lapu-Lapu's leadership, emerged victorious. The battle showcased the resilience and unity of the Filipino people. Next is the Battle of Mactan is the symbol of Filipino heritage and pride. Lastly, the event served as a reminder of the valor and determination of those who defend their land and culture. The Battle of Mactan was not just about weapons and numbers. It was a battle of values, pride, and independence. Lapu-Lapu's defiance became a symbol of Filipino resistance to colonization. That's the end of my discussion, and thank you for listening.